Hi, my name is Victoria Kolesnik. I'm a MEM Publication CLT consultant for Linguist Company in Ukraine, and I'm glad to welcome you to this webinar. So I see that lots of people are joining. Okay. Hello from Kherson. Hi. So tell me, please, where are you from? You can use our chat. Okay, see Odessa, Lviv, again Lviv, Zaporizhia, Brovary, hi, Khmelnytsky, Ternopil, Kharkiv, Kherson, great. Rivne, Dnipro. Hello, Chernivtsi, Cherkasy. Okay. So my hometown. Odessa, Poltava. Hi. Kharkiv, Cherkasy. Okay, again, Poltava, Boryspil, great. So I guess that we are ready to start. And today, the topic of our webinar is teaching language and culture to young learners. So language and culture share a great relationship, and it's hard to teach one without touching upon the other. In fact, language teaching means inevitably language and cultural teaching. So learning a language, therefore, is not only learning the alphabet or the meaning or the grammar rules. And we can say that it is also learning the behavior of the society and its cultural customs. Thus, language teaching should always contain some explicit reference to the culture. But here it is also important to understand that we as teachers, we need to pay attention not only to teaching the culture of the target language, but it is also crucial to promote national identity. So what do these traditions actually mean to our children, and why is it vital for us to teach our children about our culture and traditions? Cultural heritage and traditions are something that all human beings have. No matter where we come from or where we go, our culture will always be something that we will take with us. So culture and traditions are very important in creating a sense of belonging to our growing children in order to help them connect with their roots and having a deep sense of understanding of our culture and traditions will make this connection quite strong. Thus, it becomes easier for children to make this transition into adulthood as well-informed, confident, accepting citizens. And today we'll pay attention to the importance of teaching national identity. It is the responsibility of schools as well to help students cultivate positive values and acquire knowledge and foster a strong sense of belonging to the country and national identity. So schools are enabled to cultivate students' sense of belonging towards the country within and outside the classroom. Also school helps students acquire an understanding of the country and a sense of national identity, so that the students will be concerned about society, the nation, and the world, and become citizens who are responsible, appreciative of Ukrainian culture. Here we are talking about Ukraine, and committed to society and the country. Searching on their internet, we can find many definitions of culture, from a simple and straightforward one to the dictionary to a more complex one by scientists. And in a nutshell, I would say that it's pretty much everything related to a group of people. And as there are a lot of different people in the world, we have a lot to teach our students, so they can communicate and engage with people in an effective way in order to understand and respect their culture, traditions, and customs. And for that to happen, we must approach cross-cultural awareness and understanding in the classroom. First, we need to make students aware that something different exists. They need to know that the difference doesn't make people better or worse than others. They're just different. And multicultural education encourages appreciation and understanding of other cultures as well as own. And teaching with this perspective promotes the learner's sense of the uniqueness of his own culture as a positive characteristic, and enables him to accept the uniqueness of the cultures of others. And we, language teachers, we strive not only to equip our students with the language they need to communicate, but also to ignite curiosity and create global awareness and cultural competence. So cultural awareness generally refers to being open to other cultures, and in terms of the classroom, it's important for students to understand how to interact with people from other cultures. And here we'll talk about different activities that we can use to promote cultural awareness in the classroom. Then we'll pay attention to their textbook, Smart Junior, updated edition. We'll look through the pages in order to get acquainted with its structure, pages, and activities. So we'll look inside of the book. And if you are going to work with the first graders, this information will be useful and interesting for you. And at the end of the webinar, we've got this question and answers section where you can type the question and I will answer. Or you can use my contact information. Again, you will see it at the end of the webinar, and call or write me. But before we start, I would like to remind you about your certificates. So you will receive your certificate within 5 working days. And I want to ask you to check your email as well as your junk box, because sometimes the certificate can wait you patiently in this box. So things happen. But if you don't see your certificate in your email, please feel free to contact me and we'll solve this issue. So let's talk about the importance of teaching national identity. Developing national identity, Ukrainian national identity, I should admit, is on mainstream education curriculum. Cultural awareness and tradition play important roles in helping young children develop a positive sense of identity and build self-esteem. A positive sense of identity is developed when kids learn about their culture and traditions. So they learn where they come from and what makes them unique. And this knowledge gives them a sense of pride in who they are and helps them understand and appreciate the cultures and traditions of others. And having a deep-rooted understanding of culture and tradition makes children have a sense of belongings and helps them feel rooted. This, in turn, can help young children in realizing their self-worth and in establishing their own self-identity in the world outside. And children are like sponges, absorbing everything around them. So they learn through observation, imitation, and experience. And this is why it is so vital to provide children with a foundation of knowledge about culture and tradition from an early age. So kids, when exposed to different cultures and traditions, learn to respect and appreciate the diversity that exists in the world by developing an understanding of how other cultures communicate. We can avoid misunderstandings and find common ground. And when children learn about the customs and beliefs of others, it promotes understanding and respect. Their minds start to learn that there are many different ways to live in this world, and that is totally okay to be different. By respecting the differences in others, they create a more pleasant world for all. And every culture and tradition have certain common underlying values that bind it all together. So the beliefs of faith, freedom, integrity, personal responsibility, and values of selflessness are something common to every culture globally. One of the most important reasons to teach children about their traditions and culture and heritage is to make them aware of their culture history, about their roots and the events that shaped their nation, society, and families, and so on. So this knowledge helps children in understanding and creating their unique identity while they are growing and evolving in a constantly changing environment. So children who do not have this deep-rooted knowledge and who do not connect with their culture and traditions face trouble in understanding their place, and therefore have a difficulty in developing their own self-identity. And when we teach our children the importance of cultural heritage, we also have to emphasize the need to protect and cherish such heritage for the future generations. So educating our children about our culture and traditions from a young age not only helps them, but also teaches them a sense of responsibility to protect and carry on this heritage. And it has been said that culture is like an iceberg, that only 10% of it is visible and the other 90% is hidden below the surface. And for this reason, teachers must make intentional efforts to teach cultural understanding and tolerance to their students. You can even explore with your students how culture can be visible and invisible. And here you can talk about the stereotypes that we have concerning this or that culture. And sure, it's surface culture, but to understand why people of different ethnic groups behave the way they behave, you need to take your students and dive in deeper into the culture. And in this way, students are starting to understand the complexity that makes up their cultural identity and those of others. By knowing what shapes their culture, they will start becoming more self-aware in developing their own cultural identity. And to fully understand another culture, students need to develop awareness of another people's way of life, of their patterns of behavior that order their world, and of their traditional ideas, attitudes, and perspectives that guide their world. And understanding how to politely agree or disagree, or how to persuade peers or persons in authority, or which questions are taboo and which acceptable. As culture and language teachers, we need to require that our students use their critical thinking skills as they explore the cultures of the people who speak the target language. So they need to reflect, analyze, and summarize the information they are learning. And let's have a look on different classroom activities that can help you to promote cultural awareness. So you can explore your own culture. So before students and teachers can really understand another culture, they need to learn about their own culture. Your students' own culture can be used as a foil for the target culture. They'll be able to appreciate it more because they will have a way of comparing customs and traditions, considering their practices and perspectives of their own families, can open new ways, like new pathways in their knowledge about foods, patterns of behavior and appreciation of their families, cultural traditions and values. And this exploration can lead to comparisons of their own families with those of the target culture, and result in a wealth of information about what culture means. So they can do their comparison within the class. They can reflect on what similarities or differences there are in their two families, and then make cultural comparisons. So students should not only be immersed in the cultures associated with their target language, but also make comparisons with their own backgrounds. When students are required to do some self-reflection, they're thinking critically about how their cultural backgrounds and traditions compare with those of the target language. For example, when we teach students about meals in Britain, we can ask them to reflect. For example, you can ask, how does the breakfast of an English boy or girl compare to yours? If you could have porridge each day, would you enjoy it? Why? Why not? And by the end of the school year, your students will have gained not only skill in another language, but also cultural knowledge that will leave an impact on their lives. And you can introduce your students to native speakers. For your students, there is nothing like having a native speaker standing in front of them talking about his culture. You can make this a really unforgettable learning experience for your students. You can choose carefully who you place in front of them. So choose someone interesting who can confidently speak in public and who knows how to tell a great story. You'll need to discuss with the speaker beforehand the things he can talk about, and ask him or her to talk about what it's like living in their countries. What are some customs and traditions? And you know, with all these cornucopia of opportunities, you can even find someone online to be your volunteer. Actually, this happened to me and my students when we took part in some kind of language project, and we were supposed to have the volunteer coming to our school for 2 weeks or so. And unfortunately, there was none. So I asked my close friend, who is a native speaker, and there were online sessions. Even it was 2 a.m. for him and early in the morning for us, but nevertheless, it was a positive and fruitful experience when the students had this opportunity to speak English and promote cultural awareness. You can teach songs. We know that songs are good mnemonic devices. That's why we are able to easily memorize hundreds of songs without consciously doing so. We don't memorize the lyrics, we just sing them. The tune, melody, and harmony all help our brain remember this song. So in addition, songs are a good way to teach culture as well. Children's songs are a good way to start. Some great example is Oranges and Lemons that dates back to the 18th century. So this is an English song about different churches in London, and it can be used as a singing game as well. As always, you shouldn't miss the chance to teach language and words that students hear in a song have a special ability to be remembered. So instead of memorizing vocabulary, your students can simply sing it. And younger children might enjoy learning traditional dances from other cultures. Or if you do story time in your classroom, you can read books by authors from a wide range of cultures. Or you can propose your students to take part in creative and online projects. Everyone at some point in their life asks himself, who am I? It's human nature to question our existence and how we came to be here. And that is often tied directly into our own identities. Who am I? These kind of projects are excellent opportunities for students to probe their own cultural identity and background. And while they are also giving them a platform to share that with their peers, they can also be another opportunity for students to research and discuss their own cultural backgrounds. Or you can take part in online projects as well. And here I have warm feelings coming to my heart when I remember having taken part in international online project. I should admit it happened by accident. I was scrolling through a news feed on social media site and suddenly found a post about this project. So someone had shared, and I decided to register, and it was absolutely free of charge. And in a week or so, maybe less, we got school partner from Serbia, and the next time it was India. And it was great opportunity for my students to have this cultural exchange. Yes, at first they were confused and nervous, but at the same time they realized the reason of learning the language. Like they can use it right now. they don't need to wait until they are adults. They can see their peers from other countries who have different mother tongue. They learn English as well and are able to use it as lingua franca. And my students were wearing vyshyvankas. We were talking about our cultures, about customs, traditions, about our countries. And I even remember one girl from India showing us the box, like lunch box, holding it close to the camera for us to see. And it was filled with their national dishes. Like, food is always a nice topic to talk about. And I highly recommend you to take part in these kind of activities with your primary school students. And you can use graphic organizers to investigate cultures. A KWL chart can work as a summary of information that students know or have found out about their own culture, or that they have learned about the culture they are studying. And a Venn diagram works well to compare the students' culture with that of students in the culture they are studying. So you can draw overlapping circles to show how things are alike or different. And finally, when you can work with cross-cultural awareness and understanding, as well as critical thinking with the course book, students can make connections to life. And when they see what is in their books can be related to their background knowledge, they feel more motivated to share what they know. And when they learn something new, they get excited about it. They are eager to learn even more. And here you can see pages from the textbook Smart Junior for Ukraine for the 2nd grade and for the 4th graders. And they can practice listening, reading, speaking, and writing skills. And once we teach culture, we can also teach the vocabulary related to it. So we can use our unique words like borscht or vareniki. And for example, if we are talking about Scotland, we can teach the words like kilt or Highlands or bagpipe, right? So there is always room for teaching vocabulary when we explore different cultures. So you can use the material that you got in your textbook, or you can use the ideas that I have mentioned before. And if you're going to work in the 1st grade, I recommend you to have a look on this course book, Smart Junior Updated Edition. It consists of 8 modules like hello, school, family and friends, you and me, toys and games, my body, food, and my house. And here the focus is on listening and speaking, like developing these skills. Like the native speakers, when they are young, like little kids, they learn language through listening and speaking, and only then it's time for reading and writing. So the same is here. They follow this approach, and we understand how it is important to teach real life English, so that the students can use it in real life situations. And we should also remember that we help our students to promote 21st century skills. And in this way, we meet the demands of the new Ukrainian school. We promote such skills as critical thinking, collaboration, cooperation, creativity, learning how to learn personal and social responsibility. And we should also teach cross-cultural and cross-curricular skills and give our students the opportunity to get deeper understanding of the world that surrounds them. And here we are talking about other cultures and other subjects and how they can be overlapped in terms of learning the language. And the instructions are given in Ukrainian and English, just for the first graders. And it is also important to keep in mind that in the first grade, it is crucial to use playful approach and to motivate and engage students to learn the language. So here our task is to raise the desire to learn and make them love your English lessons. And here you can see some pages from the book. So the topic starts with the presenting of the new vocabulary. And the new vocabulary is presented with the pictures, and the new vocabulary goes into the song. So the students have the opportunity to move, or you can use TPR method when students learn by doing and repeating actions. So they can move, they can show gestures, and there are lots of follow-up activities that will help to practice the new vocabulary. And at the end of the lesson, they can play games. And next lesson, they continue to learn new words related to the topic. And there is a story about Ron and Betty's adventures. And again, we can see follow-up activities to practice new vocabulary and grammar structures. We can also find well-known fairy tales adapted for children. And the children probably have already read these stories in their mother tongue when they were younger. So the stories like Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood. It is something they are familiar with, and this time they have the chance to listen to the fairy tales in English. And the fairy tales will definitely engage your first graders. So they are appropriate for their age, and it will be easy for children to understand the plot. And there are a lot of games and role plays for students, and they will actively engage with the new language. They can work in pairs or small groups. And in this case, we promote cooperation. They find their solutions and ways of how to work together, how to work in team, listen to each other, and respect partners' opinion. And here we promote social skill. So students like to play games. It is the easiest way to involve them in the classroom activity. And we've also got project activity. As we know, projects promote students' creativity, critical thinking skills, research skills, thus helping them to acquire 21st century skills. And students present their projects, their craft work in English, and they may bring home their craft work and show their parents. And according to the concepts of the new Ukrainian school, projects can make them connection between school and families stronger. And I have got the opportunity to see two sides of the same coin, being the parent to the primary school girl. And she was studying the topic, my home, and she brought home this project work. And believe me, it was very involving for me as a parent. And we spent some time speaking about school, about English classes, and we used that craft work, that piece of craft work to play and to revise the new vocabulary. Then we can see story time, and story time is a great source of teaching, not only language, but values as well. So they help students to revise vocabulary and simple grammar structures. They can act out the story at the end of the lesson. And stories help practice listening, speaking, and reading skills. And at the end of each story, we can see the value this story teaches our students. And here it is, don't judge people by their appearance. And this value helps us to socialize our students. We need to draw our students' attention to values, because it builds character and shape them into people they can become. And Smart World pages introduce students to different cultures, habits, and lifestyles of people from English-speaking countries. And there are also information about Ukrainian culture and traditions. We have already talked about them. And we've got Smart Time pages. Students explore curricular subjects such as science, maths, through the use of English as a means of communication and cooperation. And there is a revision section at the end of each module, which consists of exercises, revising grammar and vocabulary. Then now I can section, we can say that here we promote autonomous learning. Students take their responsibility for their learning from the early age. And at the end of the book, there are alphabet and phonics sections. They have visuals, and they will be able to memorize how it letter sounds with the help of the song. And they will be learning to identify each sound with the rhymes and songs, and they can use these rhymes to help them develop reading skills as well. So I just want you to visit, or if you want to choose Smart Junior Updated Edition, you can visit our website, publishing.linguist.ua, and you can find samples of this textbook. Just look through the pages and feel whether it fits your teaching style. And the competition will last from the 23rd of February till the 2nd of March. And this is the time when you need to make your choice. So this is it from me for today. And again, what concerns your certificates, you'll get them within 5 working days. Just check your email and check your junk box. If you don't find your certificate there, you can contact me. And here is my contact information. You can see my mobile phone, my email, victoria.kolesnik@linguist.ua. You can visit our Facebook page if you want to keep updated. Or you can visit our website, linguist.ua, and find some useful information there, some materials, and different course books. Okay, I just want to have a look in our chat. Oh, thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you. So thank you for attending this webinar. If you have any questions, just feel free to contact me. And it was a pleasure working with you today. Be safe and sound. Bye.